Hello students, welcome back. Today we will be starting with a fresh new chapter, that's chapter 3 of your textbooks, coordinate geometry. So the topics to be covered in this chapter are the first one would be the introduction, then why are we learning coordinate geometry, that is the importance of coordinate geometry in your life, the Cartesian system, and then finally plotting a point in the plane if its coordinates are given, and summary. It's a very small and compact chapter and you must be wondering that this looks all like Hebrew, a new term to you, but need not worry, it's a very simple chapter, and even when you go in your future classes, I'm sure that you would just love this topic. So pay attention, once your concepts are clear, it would be really easy. Alright, so let's get started. So first of all, the chapter's name, coordinate geometry. So here we have two terms, coordinates. What does the term coordinate mean? It means location points. So location points means nothing but there will be certain points that will help you find location of a particular point or a particular element or a particular place, or it could be anything with reference to some place or some angle or some edge. Okay, so location points means coordinate, or coordinate means location points. And the word geometry is derived from two words. So geo means earth and metry means measure. So by looking at this, we understand that coordinate geometry was introduced into the field of mathematics with the intention of measuring the various land surface areas of earth. And not just measure but also locate these lands, the position of their lands, right. So now what is the major difference between coordinate geometry and geometry? So here we have only geometry. When you take into consideration the word only geometry, here you will get only the dimensions. Of course, this is a very important concept on its own. You have a totally different subject dedicated to geometry, like you have algebra as maths 1, maths 2 and geometry as maths 1, right? I'm not sure whether you have it right now, but you will have it in your future classes. Now everything is clubbed into your textbooks. So geometry is just going to it's just going to help you find the dimensions using which you can find the volume or the area. However, coordinate geometry will give you not just the dimension but also location points. So here the term location points is very important. Alright, let me just quickly erase this section. So let me list down a few points why exactly we are learning coordinate geometry. The importance. So I have just listed down few points where coordinate geometry is very helpful. Let me just write down one more point. Maps. What are maps? In order to understand how exactly maps work, you need to understand coordinate geometry, because maps is all about points and location. Then molecules in chemistry. If you take up chemistry in your future classes or in your future academic years, you will understand that the position of atoms in molecules, okay, the molecule behavior changes depending on the position of these atoms. So, even if you have, let's say, something like methane, okay. Now, methane is something like a carbon atom with 4 hydrogen atoms. But depending on the position of these atoms with respect to carbon or with respect to each other, the molecule will behave differently. Then astrophysics. If you take up astrophysics, that's to understand the space between the stars or this or anything related to astrology, coordinate geometry is going to be very handy. Then GPS navigation. Now everyone is using GPS navigation on their cell phones, right? So if you want to reach out to any place, and you're not aware of how to reach there, so what do you use? You just download the app for GPS navigation, or some mobile phones have it inbuilt, and then you just switch it on and then you're guided with the direction. So how does your phone locate the place that you're looking for? All you do is you just enter the place's name and then you are guided accordingly through some automated voice. So the GPS navigation uses coordinate geometry to locate not just your point, but to find out how much distance is there between where you are and your destination point. Then distance between 2 or more satellites. Now satellites, everything, all this is in space, but you have all the information on the internet today. How? Because our scientists or the people in space, they have used coordinate geometry, and science has developed so much that they have now managed to find the distance between 2 satellites or more satellites and give this information to you on the World Wide Web. Then architecture in civil engineering. So if you're planning to take up civil engineering in future, then you will realize that coordinate geometry is a very important aspect. All right. So before we proceed to the third topic, let us see certain examples how we are going to use it in maths. So this is one of the examples in your textbooks in a very complicated manner. Let me just simplify this for you. Let's say I have 3 streets. I'll call this street 1, street 2 and street 3. Now in each of these 3 streets you have 4 houses. So this is my house number 1, house number 2, house number 3 and house number 4. Again you have 4 houses here with the same names 1, 2, 3 and 4. Again 4 houses here 1, 2, 3 and 4. And suppose you stay in this house, the third one over here. So if your friend is planning to pay you a visit to your house, how are you going to give the address to your friend? Would you just say that I stay in house number 3? Well, the person, your friend will have to go through each of these houses, knock the doors to find out where you exactly stay, right? But what if you give him the street number as well? That would be really helpful. So if you just tell him that I stay in street 2, house number 3, he would be able to not just reach you out, but he will also not annoy the people in the other streets by asking them whether you stay there. So the parameters here for your house number would be street and house number, which is nothing but street 3 and street 2 and house number 3. Similarly, if you would have stayed here, or your friend stays here and you want to reach out to him and he's just given you the address as street 3, house 4, don't you think you can easily reach him out? So this is one of the examples in our daily lives that uses coordinate geometry. Let us look at another example. Now suppose if I have a paper and I'll name the vertices of this paper A, B, C and D, and I have this point over here, I'll call it P. Now if someone asks you to find the location of point P. How are you going to find it out? Nothing has been given to you. So let's say I draw a perpendicular on this line and I draw a perpendicular on this line. So now if you know this distance, let's say this distance is 3 units and this distance is 6 units. So you will say the distance of point P from edge AD is 3 and the distance of point P from edge DC is 6. So your parameters would be what? Distance from AD and distance from DC, which is nothing but 3 and 6. So similarly, if your teacher is asking you to just plot a point, if your teacher is telling you to plot a point, let's say first of all to draw a you have your page and she is asking you to plot a point anywhere on this page at this location 3 and 6 from AD and distance from DC. So how are you going to do that? You will first of all you will draw lines like this of 6 centimeters from DC, right? So once you have drawn these lines, these are all 6 centimeters. This entire length here is 6 centimeters. And then you will look for 3 centimeters from AD. So your 3 centimeters would come over here, let's say. This is not exactly 6 centimeters and this is not 3 centimeters, it is 3 units, but I am giving you examples in centimeters so that you can draw this in your books. So you have therefore located your point P. Isn't that simple? So again, this is another example where coordinate geometry is used. I'll give you another example. A simple example which is used in your classrooms, especially when you're a notorious kid and your teachers are getting very annoyed with you and they want you to get up from your bench and they want to punish you. So what do they tell you? This guy on row number so and so, please stand up, row number so and so, from the left the second person, right? So let us take this example into consideration as a real life example. So I have my classroom, these are the rows and my teacher is here teaching on the blackboard. Okay, she is teaching you maths. Let's say it is me and there are students here. So all these are students. Excuse me for my drawing, I am not that good at drawing, but I hope I will at least convey the concept clearly. So these are you tiny little students sitting next to your partners and having fun while the maths teacher is teaching. Okay. So now I will call these are rows. The horizontal ones are the rows. So this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4 and row 5. Similarly, there are columns. These vertical lines are the columns. So I will call this column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4, column 5 and column 6, right? And suppose you are sitting here, the star of the class, and your teacher wants to locate you. So how is she going to call you out? The child in row 4 and column number 3, or the child in column number 3 and row 4, please stand up and answer this question. So what are the parameters here? The parameters are rows and columns, and for you, for star, it is going to be R4 and C3, or it can also be column number and row number. So this is also equal to C3 R4. Wasn't that simple? So these were just simple real life examples that you can relate to in coordinate geometry. We will actually look at the ones that are applied in mathematics in the next class. Thank you.
Hope this video increased your knowledge. For more such videos and a completely free educational content, log on to www.epathshala.org or visit our ePathshala YouTube channel. We have each and every question solved for maths, physics, chemistry and biology. So subscribe our channel, share with your friends, like our Facebook page and follow our Twitter handle for regular updates and important educational tips, and also win ePathshala goodies. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe this channel and enjoy the freedom of education.